Modern Warfare 2 hype is building day by day, and the most recent thing we've got is a look at the single player. There's a few snippets of gameplay here that I wanted to take a look at. Early access information for the game, which I thought was quite interesting, because I don't think they've ever done anything like this before. And also a potential release date for Warzone 2, which, being totally honest with you, I did not expect. And if the document is true, then Warzone 2 is releasing a lot sooner than many of you realized it would. We're going to start off here by looking at the campaign gameplay, and I think this is Soap running across the camera, carrying what looks like a Remington MSR sniper rifle. And I think that's Vargas in the background there with an MPX. Nice little SMG that is, and a big favourite for me from Battlefield 4. Next, a little shot walking through a canyon here, and this looks awesome, the lighting, and I feel like there's a lot of photogrammetry going on here too. That's why the rocks and stuff look so realistic. And many people online have suggested that the weapon here is the SIG MCX Spear because of the charging handle that you can see there. Apparently that's quite unique to the gun. This gun is also known as the M5 in BF 2042. And I believe that there's a variant of this called the XM5, which the US Army will be using going forward as their main assault rifle. Little rib boat up next. Hard to tell where this is, but we do know that rib boats and assault boats will feature in the multiplayer and Warzone 2. Moving on, we're in a downtown area now, and I think this is Chicago because it looks like the Navy Pier in the background, and also the skyscrapers there. Generally, that kind of has a Chicago vibe to it. And I was lucky enough to see some behind the scenes alpha gameplay of this mission a couple months ago, and you can indeed rappel down the side of the skyscraper, but rather than like how it is in Warzone when you can just go up and down, in this you could go up and down, side to side. You could control the ascent and descent, you could flip upside down, and the mission involved moving down the side of the building, stealthily taking out people on the interior through the glass, kind of like a stealth puzzle section. It was pretty cool. Tactical team stacking up on a gate ready to breach. Ghost here carrying the Honey Badger, looking pretty badass. Vargas takes a leap of faith here with Ghost stood next to him. Maybe something's gone wrong and they're leaping into some water by the looks of it. Got an operator here in a very wet and rainy environment wearing what looks like night vision goggles. That could be the Amsterdam mission because that was just raining all the time when I saw it. Some kind of M4 there maybe. And then a first person perspective and Vargas in front. This is very reminiscent of the townhouse missions, incredibly claustrophobic, so I imagine we're going to get a couple of those style missions back in this game too. Might be Chicago again actually, this one. A shot of what might be an AC-130 or some kind of troop transport vehicle. That might be part of the intro to Warzone 2 and they've just snuck it in there, but most likely just some kind of cutscene in MW2 where you'll be dropping in. Quick shot of Soap here in another rainy environment, might be the same as earlier. And then finally something very reminiscent to all ghillied up from Modern Warfare. We see Gaz here in a ghillie suit with a ghillie sniper rifle. This is the Barrett MRAD, and this is a bolt action sniper rifle based on the Barrett 98B, which I'm sure that many of us have played with in several video games over the years. So I expect there'll be a ghillie sneaking mission with Gaz and Price in MW2. It's going to be epic, you just know it. And that's it for the little teaser here. Now, the announcement about early access was early access for the campaign. If you pre-order any digital version of MW2, you'll be able to play just the campaign a week early. So the game comes out 28th of October. So that means depending on your time zone, if you pre-order, you'll be able to play on the 20th or the 21st. And as I mentioned at the start, I don't think they've ever done anything like this before, early access to a campaign. And for me, it makes me think that they're really proud of it and really confident in it. And they don't want it to be an afterthought, which is usually what COD campaigns are. Or at least the way I do COD games is I'll blast through the campaign in like 4 to 5 hours and then just jump into multiplayer and never go back to the campaign again. I'm not much of a completionist, but I enjoy the campaigns. I just don't replay them. And you tend to forget a lot of stuff that happens in them. So I see this as Infinity Ward and Activision giving the campaign its time in the limelight before the craziness of the multiplayer DMZ and Warzone 2 takes over. And that's a nice segue onto Warzone 2, which is the last topic of today's video. I'm not going to show the image because I don't want to be sharing leaked documents in my videos, and take this with a pinch of salt because it might not even be real. It looks pretty real to me. The images are still up on the internet if you want to go searching for yourself. But the story is that it's a document from Activision, and it was first posted in the WoW Classic subreddit because it talked about pre-patch and pre-sale for the WoW Classic Wrath of the Lich King expansion. There were some Overwatch 2 dates on there as well. But most interestingly for me, and I'm sure for you guys watching this now, there was a date on there, November 16th, for Call of Duty Warzone 2 global launch. Again, take this with a pinch of salt, but if that's true, then Warzone 2.0 releases only 3 weeks after MW2 multiplayer goes live. Obviously a very different tactic to how they released Warzone 1. Modern Warfare of course came out October 25th, 2019, and then Warzone didn't release until 10th of March 2020. So a good 4 to 5 months gap there between the two. And logic dictates that they did that because maybe Warzone just wasn't ready to go at that period of time when MW19 launched. But also you could say that maybe they did it to give MW a bit of breathing room with their first couple of seasons so people could experience that game on its own, and then all the new maps and guns and operators and game modes that came alongside it. But this time around, if it's only 2.5 to 3 weeks after launch, they're going to go hard on Warzone. And I imagine that this is because the player base for Warzone compared to traditional COD titles massively outweighs those games. There's just way more people playing Battle Royale games now than there is arena type games like COD. And perhaps, again, I'm making assumptions here. The devs, Activision, have looked at that and gone, well, this time around maybe we can give Call of Duty Warzone 2 out for free like we did with the first one, and that might incentivize people to buy MW2 for leveling guns and getting that classic COD experience there. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Again, rumors at the moment. If that's true though, and if Warzone 2 is disruptive and innovative, as Pat Kelly, the Call of Duty franchise director, said, I'm excited to try it out, and I was not expecting it that early at all. I thought it might be March next year again, but if it is November and it's good and it works well, I'm down to just sink many hours into it. And that's all for today, guys. As always, do let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you're new around here, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.